topic. I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another match reaction video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. And it finished Benfica 1, Chelsea 4 after extra time. But where on earth do we begin with that? Game finished at 1:40 a.m. UK time and it kicked off at 9 p.m. Almost a 5-hour match. Utter nonsense. It was basically two legs, really. Basically ended up being two legs. First leg, we won 1-0. Second leg, we won 3-1. That's basically what happened here. One of the most ridiculous games of football I've ever watched in terms of what happened, in terms of it from a spectacle, absolute farce from FIFA, from the organisation. The referee, one of the worst refereeing performances I think I've ever witnessed, ever. It makes Anthony Taylor look like Kalina. I mean, it was absolutely farcical what was going on. Farcical. Not only did we beat Benfica, we beat FIFA, we beat the referee, we beat the weather. Maybe we should just call them Benfica. That would be much easier, because that's what it felt like. Even when they were down to they went down to 10 men, they were still 11 men because they had the ref playing for them. And I'm so proud of the boys for digging in, getting stuck in, backs up against the wall, delivering when the pressure is on, and we dug in and we got those 3 goals in extra time. And is that what you wanted, Benfica? Is that what you wanted? You wanted to have 4 put past you. We could have just called it quits at 1-0 and we could have all gone home. Instead, you get a ridiculous penalty. What is Malo Gusto supposed to do? He's jumping. Where's he going to put his arm? You see those given in Europe. I hate those penalties. Even if we'd been given one, I'd be saying the exact same thing. You got to keep it consistent. Where's he going to put his arm? Where? There's literally nowhere to put it. And at that point, you're thinking, "Nah, we're done here." When Di Maria slots that penalty, and you've got to go again in that heat, half an hour more extra time. But we dug in strong. We've done really, really well. But let's take it back to the start. Line up and whatnot. Strongest team possible. It was kind of that similar system that he was using against Flamengo, almost sort of a 4-2-2, but then a 3-4-3 kind of in possession when we're attacking. It was Palmer on that left-hand side. Obviously, Badiashile came in at centre-back, which I thought was a little bit bold, bit of a strange one, given you got Tosin and Chalobah on the bench who are better. But Badiashile done okay, had a few rash moments here and there, a few heart in mouth moments, and he went off with what looked like a hamstring injury. I think he was seen leaving the stadium on crutches. Obviously, Reece James right back, Cucurella left back, Lavia, Caicedo in midfield, Enzo and Palmer a little bit further up, and then Delap and Neto almost as split strikers kind of thing. And the first half was really, really good. The first half was great. I thought we played really well. It was impressive. But of course, as tends to happen with Chelsea in these games, the opposition goalkeeper has a worldie, and Trubin was brilliant in that first half, making a number of really good saves from Cucurella, from Cole Palmer. Antonio Silva, who's a centre-back that Chelsea have looked at, was very, very impressive, heading one off the line from Cucurella. And the only thing missing from that first half performance was a goal. I thought we dominated. I felt we created loads of chances. The intensity was there. We played with a good tempo. We looked dangerous. And you just sort of left feeling at half-time, shit, I hope we don't pay the price for not taking our chances like we've seen in so many previous games. That even second half, we come out and we're still doing a good job. We're probing, we're on the front foot, and it takes a moment of brilliance from Reece James from a free kick to give us the lead. It's a brilliant free kick from Reece. It's smart, it's clever thinking. He beats Trubin at the near post. He's got that up over the wall. He's got that accuracy with it. And Trubin, the starting position's not terrible, but he just catches him completely unaware. And it's a brilliant, brilliant piece of individual skill from Reece James. And we've seen it a number of times now. Reece James coming up big in clutch moments for Chelsea, and another free kick scored. And he done it, and he even better, he did Di Maria's celebration right in front of him as well. Right in front of him as well, which you love to see, that little bit of needle, that little bit of shit housing. So we go 1-0 up and we're comfortable. We're comfortable. We're seeing that game out. Maresca makes ideally Maresca should have made changes earlier. You could see that we were starting to flag a little bit, needed some fresh legs in there, it needed to inject some intensity, but he waits until like inside the final 10 minutes to make a triple sub, and he brings on Gusto, Dewsbury Hall and Nkunku, and he's sort of thinking, I'm a little bit unsure. I'm a little bit unsure about those changes. But perhaps actually subsequently, as it transpired, Nkunku and Dewsbury Hall both played key roles in extra time in getting us the win. But the 2-hour delay, I'm sorry. And I've got no issue with football being held in the States. Football's a global game. And, you know, it has a right to be held, this competition, in America. However, as Maresca said, it was an absolute farce and an absolute joke to have a 2-hour delay. There's 5 minutes left. It's utter woke nonsense. And I know it's FIFA protocol, and I think the commentators were saying, oh, this thing happens quite a lot on the East Coast. Well, how about this? Don't hold games on the East Coast in America in the summer when you know this sort of thing is going to happen. There's been about 5, 6, 7 games that have been suspended for extreme weather conditions. Maybe just don't hold those games in that part of the country. That might just be an idea. FIFA, I'm open to ideas. I'm not expensive. Maybe that's a good idea to do that, guys. Just maybe we need to think about that. Maybe we need to think about that ahead of the World Cup next summer. Imagine the World Cup. If it was a quarter-final, a semi-final, World Cup final. Oh, sorry, guys. We've got to fucking go off for 2 hours. No, it's utterly ridiculous. Sort that shit out. Sort it out, because it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Sort it out. Because, you know, you're now running the risk where you've basically played an entire 90 minutes pretty much. Then you go off for 2 hours, you cool down, you've got to re-warm up again and almost go and play a totally different game of football, increasing risk of injury and whatnot. We were seeing that game out comfortably in that final 5 minutes, and we would have won that game 1-0, and we would have cracked on. But instead, things were made more difficult for ourselves by the referee and by FIFA. Honestly, fuming, absolute disgrace. But FIFA, you couldn't beat the Chelsea. You couldn't, could you? You tried your best. Referees, woke nonsense, weather breaks. You tried it all, but you couldn't beat the Chelsea. And we head into extra time. Nkunku actually done well when he come on. So fair play to him. And you know what? I want to give a congratulations to all the players last night. Every single one of those guys that played in the first leg, that played in the second leg, that played a part in that match last night, fair play, because you all contributed, every single one of you. Colwell immense at the back, Chalobah making some crucial blocks when he came on. James outstanding. Caicedo, is this guy human? What an absolutely ridiculous footballer. Worth every single penny. And that's what you pay the money for. Cole Palmer, I felt, was looking sharp. Delap done okay. He worked hard, wasn't his best, but he put a shift in. Pedro Neto as well, by the way, getting his 3rd goal of the tournament in extra time. And do you know what? Pedro Neto is now just 2 GA of 20 GA in his first season. Yes, some of them are Conference League. Yes, some of them are Club World Cup. However, he's played 48 games. People were concerned, myself included, about his fitness issues that he's had at Wolves, but he's kept his level of fitness and his availability, and it's a real credit to him and a real credit to the medical staff as well. So big up to Pedro Neto, and it's these sort of guys that you need in the squad, if you're going to win big things. You know, yes, fans obsess over GNA. Yes, you know, it's become a big part of the modern game, rightly or wrongly, but hard work and unselfishness is massive. And you need players like Pedro Neto to win the big games, to win the titles. You know, you can't just have 11 unbelievable footballers on the pitch. You need more. The way that he presses off the ball, the way that he runs back, chases every ball. You know, if we can add a bit more GA to his goal, like he's done so far, then what he brings to this side is going to be invaluable, and he is going to establish himself as a very, very important player for Chelsea. So props to him. And do you know what as well? Fair play to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. People laughed about the signing. People mocked the signing. People, you know, don't really think he's Chelsea quality. But ultimately, he works hard. He puts a shift in every single time he comes on the pitch. He never moans about lack of game time. He gets his head down and he just gets on with it. And those are the sort of players you want in your squad. He really isn't a bad squad player to have. However, Chelsea's midfield is absolutely stacked with talent, and he's probably too good to just be sitting on the bench and picking up kind of pity minutes here and there in the Premier League and playing in a few early rounds of the cup. But if he's happy with that, then I'm happy for Dewsbury-Hall to remain at Chelsea. But again, look, the players deserve immense credit. You know, that mentality we're seeing. We saw it against Nottingham Forest on the last day. You know, we've been doubted, backs against the wall. We dug in. And Neto, as I mentioned earlier, he exemplified that attitude and that mentality of what it took to win that game of football, you know? And maybe, guys, Willie Eiler, the rugby league guy, the mentality coach, the guy that's come in to instill that winning mentality, maybe we're starting to see some of the fruits of his labour. Who knows? But it was, it was a vital win, a big win, a real, almost felt like a coming of age moment for this squad again in this tournament. And now you look at it, and we've got a quarter-final against Palmeiras, up against Esteban Willian. Brother, don't you dare think about trying any samba skills against the Chelsea. Know where you're coming to after this match. And then it could be a semi-final in the Big Apple, New York City, potentially against Man City. And yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. We're going to need to rest up, recover. We're back to Philadelphia for the quarter-final. But what a mad occasion. What a mad occasion. But yeah, fair play to the Chelsea. Fair play to the players, the manager, the fans that were at the stadium, the fans that stayed up to watch it. Quarterfinals, here we come. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the game. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.